What's up, guys? Today I'm playing a game against Cameron. He's rated 1541 Rapid, and he is recording at the same time that I am, so you're going to get to see our thought process. And by the way, guys, the last couple of videos, I've gotten white. It's been random. I'm not selecting white. It's just been random, and it's pretty funny that everybody that we've played against has been playing the Caro-Kann. So we're getting to see a lot of the same type of opening here.
Okay, he opens e4, so I'm going to play Caro-Kann. That is the defense that I am most comfortable in against e4. I imagine, yes, d4, d5, and I think he'll play the advance, in which case I will play c5. Maybe he takes. Okay, he doesn't. This is more mainline Caro, in which case take, and I'm going to play knight f6. Oh, interesting move order here.
We're going to do the same gambit here and see how Cameron is going to respond. So bishop to c4.
All right, I'm going to pause because that threw me off because I expected him to take and then I was going to play knight f6. But he goes with bishop c4, attacking my weak f7 pawn. I could still develop, and if he takes, I would take back. I'm just trying to look and see. This isn't working if I develop my knight. If I develop my knight and he takes, then I think I would just play e6. Yeah, this is an interesting move order because I'd love to get my light square bishop out, but it makes it a lot harder, and I've not really run into this. What if I play b5? Just attacking the light square bishop. I think he'll just retreat. I don't think that makes sense. So I think I may stick with my plan. Knight f6. I don't think taking on f7 works. At least not now. So I'm going to develop my knight.
All right, so he plays the main line here. So I'm going to continue with f3. Nothing new here. If you've seen the previous videos, you'll know it's the same kind of story. If they take, we take back. We sacrifice a pawn temporarily, but we get the open f file. You can also play bishop f5, and you can also play e3. So these are really the three options here for black.
And wow, this is wild. A wild opening from National Master Nelson Lopez. Okay, he's throwing curveballs at me. A lot of curveballs. And I'm tempted to just take. It helps him with development. He can take either way. He wouldn't take with the queen because then he's dropping this pawn. So he would take back with the knight. But then I don't think he really can castle short if he takes back. So take. Then I can get the pin with the light square bishop. That's the way I'm going to play it. Or I guess he could take back with the pawn, but I don't think that makes sense either because then he's just got this isolated pawn hanging out. So I am going to take it. Like, I don't really have any good developing moves. I'm not going to add a defender of this pawn. I don't think it's worth trying to hang on to. I think I'm just going to take.
Of course, I like it better when they take the pawn. I think it leads to the funner type of games, but we'll see what he's going to do. All right, so he does accept, and of course, I'm going to recapture with the knight. We want to castle right away. If we take with the queen, we would lose the pawn as well, and so that doesn't really make any sense. This is the only move, and of course, there's the trap, which if you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you've seen this before, so hopefully Cameron doesn't fall for it.
I expect him to take back with the knight. He does, because then I can get this in. He's way ahead in development, though. But it's okay. I'm using up a lot of time. I'm 3 minutes behind on the clock already.
And really, bishop f5 is the main move here. Oh, it's a common trap. It's a super common trap. I mean, it really is. So last time that this happened, I played knight e5. I think this time maybe I'll switch it up, play the other move, bishop takes f7 check. I think this one is technically a little bit better. They're both good for white. And the idea is if they take your queen, you have checkmate. Or I can sack first and I just win back my piece. And why is that such a good deal for us? Well, it's primarily because black loses castling rights, can no longer castle, and just a weak king. And so very common trap that Cameron falls into here.
What does he do here? Because he's 2 moves away from castling long. He's got to develop. Okay, so he does take. That is a problem. I can't take. No, I feel like I can. This is defended. I refuse to believe this is working. Take. He can give check. But my bishop is defended. Usually, this is only working if my bishop isn't defended. Wow. So if I go back, yeah, the right move was probably here. Okay. Take the piece, check. I lose the right to castle. He wins this piece back. I don't know. I think I have to take.
All right, so he recaptures, and then here we go with the fork. And so we just get our piece right back. And like I said, the king is going to be weak for the rest of the game since you're not going to be able to ever castle. And on top of that, we've removed the F pawn, which is not ideal for Black's king.
I don't think I have a that. So where do I go? That's the question. Do I go to G8 or E8? I'm thinking G8. G8 feels more natural. E8. E8, he could play something like this. And well, no, he can't. I think he does have to take back. Wow, I shouldn't spend this long on this move, but I do think it's critical. I don't know. Here, then I can bring my rook to this open file eventually. I don't know. He's going to take back.
All right, so nothing really to think about here. Of course, we're going to take our piece back. If the knight takes, we take with the queen. And we're pretty happy with, the king that is now a target.
I don't know if taking is like good for me or not. I kind of think just developing would be the smart play. My dark square bishop's going to be a nightmare to get out. If I take, he takes back. He can easily give check. Maybe I won't take. I don't know. If I don't take, then what? He plays something like this. It's still defended twice. The reason I'm thinking I don't take is maybe I can bring a pawn to the center and develop my dark square bishop this way. So maybe I just develop my knight. He brings this. Take. I think I'm just going to develop. Trying to see if I'm missing any tactics, but I don't think so. If I develop, he takes, I will take back with the G pawn. If he goes here, well, then I can take. Okay, let's develop. Both of our positions are kind of jacked. I would say white's definitely better because they can still castle.
Okay, knight to d7 seems like a logical move. I think I'm going to castle. You might look at this position and think it's equal, right? Because I still have 6 pawns. He has 6 pawns. Everything looks the same. But the fact that his king is stuck in the center and mine is not is a very big advantage for me. So it's actually not equal, and I am going to go ahead and castle. And this is very dangerous. This file also could be dangerous when this rook comes over. This diagonal could be dangerous. This diagonal could be dangerous. There's so many weaknesses. This square is weak. All of these different things are why it's really not an equal position.
Okay, so he castles. Interesting. Adds an attacker. That makes it really hard to play e6 or g6 now. But I've got to get more developed. Because if I play something like e6 to try and get my dark square bishop out, he's immediately going to play this. But, okay, playing e6 adds a defender with my queen. Then here, and then I'd imagine he's going to try for this. I don't know. But I think e6, it's defended twice, and it's defended 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I can even add a 4th defender if needed.
All right, so e6, trying to get the bishop out. Makes sense. Now it's when I actually probably need to start thinking a little bit, because I do have quite a few options at this point. So the first thing that's coming to my mind is finishing my development. So bishop g5, or bishop f4, or bishop e3. I like this because it's a pin. He can easily deal with it though with bishop e7, so I don't know how good that is. Bishop f4 is kind of annoying because you can't counter my bishop immediately, or I'll just take it. I do like that. I don't like that it blocks the rook, but that could be easily moved. So that looks pretty good. Bishop e3, okay, it defends the pawn, but other than that, it's kind of passive. So I'm leaning towards bishop f4. Maybe I could also consider a queen move just to put pressure here. It's probably worth asking the question, how would he defend the pawn? You can't go there with the knight. So I think you might have to play queen e7, which is kind of an awkward move to block your bishop. So maybe it is worth going here first and delaying developing the bishop. Does he have any other moves? I don't believe so, unless he's willing to just sack with the pawn, and then I can go after the king directly on the e-file. So here, and then maybe bishop g5 is more powerful because you can't block with the bishop at that point. So that's what I'm thinking. And then we can, of course, bring the other rook over. He's not able to castle to get out of the center. Yeah, okay, so queen e2. Let's just make sure I'm not blundering. He could take here, but I could still take with check and grab my knight, and I would be happy with that. Okay, so let's do it. Queen to e2. And I don't really see a way for black to defend this except queen e7, unless I'm missing something.
I think my next move is getting the dark square bishop out, just trying to figure out where to put it. I mean, I wonder if bishop e7 makes the most sense. Sliding a rook over, need to manually castle somehow, or trade off major pieces, because otherwise there's just going to be too many tactics. If I'm thinking about where I think white is going to play, probably something like this, or maybe even something like this. I'm happy he's finally thinking, but it doesn't feel great. Okay, that move creates a pin here. I have this square defended twice. I mean, he could play here, here, here. Bishop e7 or bishop d6 are my candidate moves. I think he's just going to start loading up on this knight. But bishop e7, then I can bring the rook over. I think that's the way I'm going to go. Maybe I can slide my queen out somewhere.
Okay, so he goes bishop e7. He's just going to abandon the pawn. So I think I will take it. Of course, you could take here. No, that's checkmate. So I don't know what move he's going to play next. You can't castle. Even if you could go there, you can't because the king has already been moved. Looks like I don't really need to think about any other moves. I guess you could still consider developing, but no, that just looks, well, looks great. I mean, knight f8 to try to do something like this. I think I would simply take here with check, and I can't believe black's position is very good. So yeah, let me go ahead and take the pawn.
But if he played something like this, I could give check, kind of get out. Oh! I didn't even consider that. Now I'm thinking of taking. I don't know. Because if I take, then there's a mate threat here. Yeah, I can't take because then it's mate. Do I slide a rook over? Here. I can't take. Ugly. Can't take because it's mate. So let's not forget about that. Can he add another attacker to my dark square bishop? Probably something like this. I don't know if that's any good at all. This is defended 3 times. If I play this, maybe he goes here. He's got to keep defending this. Maybe he goes here, because then I still can't take, because then it's still mate on this square. Oh, not anymore, because then I can move. I only have 3.5 minutes. This removes a defender. I don't know. I'm going to play it.
Okay, so knight f8. It is an attack here and an attack here. Of course, I have check. This is pinned. He has to take back. And then I just move my queen somewhere. defend the pawn. Do I have any other moves? I mean, I don't have to take that. I don't really have the option to go here. I lose the knight. If I go somewhere that defends the knight, then I lose the pawn. So yeah, I think this is really the only move. And so I think we can play this one actually pretty quickly.
I'm going to play it. I imagine he'll take with check, and then it's forced taking back. Then he could give check. I'm here. Then he wins this pawn. No, that pawn won't be there. He could go somewhere like here. No, here would drop the... Yeah. I think that's forced. Give myself some time.
Okay, he takes back, only legal move. And now, I think I want to go here. And why do I want to go there? Number one, it defends my pawn. Number two, it threatens here, which looks pretty good. Now, that being said, Queen e4 also looks like a good place, keeping the pressure on the e-file. So both of these seem to be candidate moves for me. Guess you could argue Queen c4 also if I want to keep the queen on this diagonal. Any other moves? I mean, I don't even have to defend that pawn, honestly. Like, I could go somewhere else, just sack it and play king h1. It's really, that pawn seems kind of irrelevant, honestly. That being said, I do like the idea of here. Now, you could play h5 and take that away from me. I couldn't go to g6 either. But that does create a long-term weakness on g6. So even if I had to go here, h5, and then jump over to e4, that's probably a good thing. You could play queen d7, check, knight g6. Because I don't really want to trade queens. I mean, I'm up a pawn, but the king is so weak, I don't want to trade queens. So maybe queen e4 actually is better, just to not even allow him the possibility to offer a queen trade just yet. All right, so yeah, they both look really good. Maybe I'll just go with queen e4 actually upon second thought. I do like the pressure on the e-file, and once I bring the other rook over, that's going to be a very good battery. So maybe I will save the time rather than going over and have to come back later. I'll just keep it there and try to get this rook over as quickly as I can.
I can take this with check. He can block pretty easily. I bet you he retreats his queen somewhere, keeping the pin on the bishop. Because then that pawn is hanging. Maybe he goes here, defending this pawn. I would try and defend that pawn. Step my king or queen up. Yep, so he keeps defending this pawn. And I want to defend my pawn. I think that's the only way I can defend it. I can defend it here or here. And I think I'd rather defend it this way. What happens if this? Then here maybe. Take.
Okay, so normally I'd be worrying about castling, but in this case I don't have to. Bishop f4 seems like a fantastic move because it's with tempo. Bishop h6, I don't really want to trade for that knight, probably. So definitely leaning towards this. He's probably going to go queen e6 and try to trade queens. Now I could play rook e1, takes, and my position is still amazing, but is it better to keep the queens on the board? The answer is probably yes. Something like queen here or queen here. And just bring the rook over. That's probably what I'll do, but regardless, I still think bishop f4 is a fantastic move. Just looking if there's anything I need to be aware of, but I'm not really seeing it. And I think I am going to go ahead with bishop to f4. And if you can ever develop a piece and attack something at the same time, it's like a win-win because you gain time because they have to deal with the threat, and you get a piece out, and then you're getting ready for the next piece, and it just can snowball really quickly if you can string a few of these tempo moves together, essentially. So always be on the lookout for developing moves like that.
I mean, I shouldn't be so focused with material equality, but I do want to get my king out of the center of the board. If I could get some major pieces off the board, that would be very helpful. I think he's probably looking to develop the dark square bishop just because he can get his other rook into the game. something like this. I wonder if I step my king up and try and castle manually. It's going to take a long time, but I don't have a lot. Okay, so he does play that. And does this move work? Here, takes, and probably here to defend this pawn. Slide a rook over. Will he even trade queens with me? That's the other question. I don't think he will, but that's what I'm going for.
Right. So this is fine. Actually, no, I wouldn't take it. I could play here, and this would be fine. But he's probably going to go king f7, and he's going to survive for a while. And I still have to win an endgame where I have 4 against 3, which, yeah, should be able to do it. But why even allow the queen trade? I don't have to. And so I think what I'm going to do is go queen to d3 or queen to f3. Because remember, his king is stuck. You cannot castle. So this guy is stuck. Very, very dangerous. So that's just a question of where's the queen better at? My rook's going to come here next move, chase the queen away. I'm assuming he's going to play rook d8. So I don't know if I want that to be defended or not. Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I do. So let me go queen d3. And we're going to swing the rook over next move. Line up here, and that's when we start looking for tactics. Once we get both rooks lined up, and the bishop involved, and the knight and the queen, that's when we look for tactics.
No, okay, so he doesn't trade. Like I suspected. And what if I slide the rook over? He's going to slide his rook over. Then where am I going to put my queen? Maybe I slide a rook over here. Because if here, can I threaten this? I mean, it's easily defendable, but I can at least try and gain some sort of initiative. I only have a minute left, so I've got to keep that in mind. I'm going to slide this rook over. I imagine he plays here. Then I do want to go for this. Just going for any sort of initiative I can.
Rook g8, interesting move. Did not consider that, but okay, I guess it makes sense. He wants to have the possibility to attack here at some point. Maybe queen g4 is the idea. So I still think I want to go here, but I do need to look into what happens with, let's see. You can't go here, you can't go here, you can't go here. So yeah, the only way to attack g2 would be queen g4. And what would my response be? Can we sack right away? 96. No, I don't think so. So I don't think I would be sacking. Probably I would just play a move like rook f2 to defend the checkmate and also have the possibility to double up. Yeah, that looks very good. So definitely happy with that. Let's just see if there's anything better besides rook e1, rook f2. Anything at all. d5. I don't know why, because he doesn't even have to take. He can just go there straight away. Think I would rather, I mean, that doesn't look actually terrible. And if he did take, the knight jumps in. Rook d8. We have a fork. Ooh, that is pretty good. Wow. So both of these moves look to be amazing. Now this one, there is a check. I just moved though, and the king is still there. I mean, normally I'm going to go with the rook because the rook is just more powerful. But in this case, this pawn getting to d6 looks really good. Because if he has to go back here, I mean, that's got to be like mate in a few moves. Also, the knight jumping in and being able to do this kind of stuff looks really good. Rook here, queen here, rook f2. I feel like he has time to defend in that position. So maybe I am going to change my mind here and go with d5. Check, we move. Not a big deal. Some very serious threats. And we could still go here later. Yeah, I think I am going to actually change and play d5. Very, very powerful looking move. And if he goes queen g4, so I wouldn't be able to push straight away, but I could still play rook f2. Okay. But here there is bishop c5. Interesting. So maybe that's what I'm overlooking here. Rook f2, bishop c5. I guess I would have to go bishop e3. And now I'm kind of actually playing a little bit of defense. So, yeah, okay. Unfortunately, that's a pretty good response for black. I guess I could play bishop g3. Bishop g3. And bishop g3 is pretty good. He doesn't really want to go bishop d6 because he opens up the e file most likely. Check. I'm just going to go over. All right, so maybe I could. So again, I don't know. My instinct is telling me this is the best move, but I can't get this d5 idea out of my mind. So we're going to play d5, and I think on queen g4, I'll just go bishop g3 to stop checkmate that way. I just don't want to walk into the pin here.
And I'm down to 1:09, so I have to play very quickly. So he attacks right away. Okay, so I said that, but that is... Can I just play here now? Again, he can defend. I'm down to 45 seconds. I will not lose this game on time. Here... I am going to go there.
Okay, queen g4, and like I said, we'll just not get checkmated here.
He's probably just going to go here. Or, I mean, I guess he could play something like this. Yeah, that's what I thought. But couldn't I play this? Isn't this helpful? I mean, he can obviously give check. I am going to play that. But he can take. I would have to take.
Bishop here, we're going to play king h1. Bishop d6 looks like it's walking into a rook check, which looks very nasty. I don't really know what else black can play here, honestly. He does go bishop d6. Okay. Of course, I can't take, obviously, checkmate. But what I can do, like I said, is bring the rook over. And we could even hop in with the knight after that. Or lots of options depending on where the king goes. So let's start with the check. And then we'll go from there. So here we go. Check to the king. And I'm not even really worried about this. Because even if he takes, worst case scenario, I could take back and I'm fine.
Take. And I think he's got to take back. Yeah, so there's that. Can I go here? It's either here or here. Maybe this way so that this pawn, well, that pawn's hanging. We're going to go here.
Okay, so 94 looks really good because I'm threatening here. I'm threatening here with the rook. I'm defending here if I need it, so I can just recapture with the knight if I want. That's got to be the move. There might be some other moves. I don't know. Does this make any sense? I mean, maybe you could get away with that and then take the bishop, but probably just moving the knight there first looks more powerful. Yeah, I think so. Knight to e4. It's just such a good move. It's just doing everything. The knight's just doing everything.
What if I lift my rook? Think about giving check. Because if I lift my rook and give check, I could get away with maybe taking this. He would have to take back. Do I just retreat? Oh, no, that's a problem. I'm going to take here. I think he's going to take here. And I'm just going to run. I don't think I have any other choice.
Cameron's low on time, so he's got to make a quick decision here. Very tough position to make a quick decision in. Okay, he does trade. So, I mean, of course we could take with the knight and have a nice position. But do I have something better? That looks risky because it gives him time to go check and potentially checkmate me. Maybe I could run, but I don't want to do that. So we can rule out that move immediately. Rook takes with check. Looks very good. If he goes here, he cuts off the battery. If he goes here, he walks into this one. So that's got to be the move. And then even if I don't want to move this to lose my rook, I could just recapture with the pawn and be pretty happy. Yeah, so I think we're going to go here. And we'll go from there depending on where he moves the king to. But definitely seems like a safe move to start with.
Yeah. Here. I'm really dedicated to this idea of not losing on time. You know, if he moves here, or if he takes, then this is... Oh, but I can take with the pawn.
Okay, so he chooses to go that way. So he doesn't walk into this, but he does disconnect the battery here. So there's no longer an immediate checkmate threat. Let's see. First of all, can I take with the knight and allow this? I don't know that I want to just lose a rook. Because I would need to have a pretty obvious follow-up. Yeah, I don't think I have one. So with that in mind, probably need to take with the pawn. Unless I have a better move somewhere else. Something like queen c3. Man, what a crazy move. I don't see anything immediately that he could do, but maybe I don't need to get that fancy with it, and I just probably just take the bishop. Yeah, I'll probably just take this.
Probably. Yeah. Can I go here? It's undefended. I don't like that. What if I go here? Attacking the rook and this pawn.
Okay, knight to d7. Attacking my rook. Maybe now's the time for queen c3, because if he takes me, I have checkmate. Ah, that's a good one. He can't take the rook, and I'm setting up a discovered check for next turn that he can't get away from. That is so nasty. I'm thinking queen to c3. Queen to d4 is a similar idea. I don't know if I like the fact that I'm lined up with the queen here or not. Because it kind of pins my queen. I mean, pins my knight, but then if I move the knight, maybe that could come in handy. So which one do I want to do? Probably queen c3. I think I just want to stay out of that for right now. This is defended. There's got to be some nasty discovered check. Yeah, let's do it. Queen c3. I would hate to be playing black in this position with 15 seconds.
This is undefended. Maybe he goes all the way back. He's up 2 pawns. Or that, yeah. Okay, can I play this? No, because he's discovering check. Yeah, this is looking bad. Shoot, I lost on time. I said I wasn't going to lose on time.
Trying to find a move right now, I mean, that's got to be so difficult. I'm really curious what Cameron is saying right now, if he's saying anything. Because you got to move. He's got to move. He's got to... Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would have played either, though. Honestly, that's such a tough position to be in. Such a tough position. All right, big thank you to Cameron. I'm going to hop on a call with him, discuss this game a little bit, and then I'll link that in the description. That'll be on his channel. You can go check it out. Thank you, and I hope you guys learned something. I'll see you next time. Stay sharp, play smart, and take care.